everyone, it's Kathy here from Bello's Designs, and today I'm going to be creating a scene for my journal. The actual finished size of my work is 8¼ inches by 6¼ inches, and I'm going to be using both Lavinia stamps and cardio stamps for this scene. So there's quite a few products used. By all means use whatever products you have, but there is a list, I will warn you. Okay, so for this project I've got a piece of multifarious card that I've cut 6¼ inches by 8¼ inches. For the stamping, I've got Versafine Clair Nocturne and Green Oasis. For the moon and for the background and some of the edges, I've got some Element inks, Dark Denim, Midnight Blue, Graphite and some Truffle. Got a couple of stencil brushes for blending the backgrounds. I have a black pen, a black pencil, a white gel pen and a white Posca pen. I have a number of Posca pens in greens, blues, pinks, yellow for doing the flowers and the scenery. And then I also have a range of Stabilo. No, not Stabilo. Yes, they are, sorry. Stabilo Carbonello pastel pencils for doing some of the backgrounds and adding some atmosphere. And the stamps I'm using, I've got a long list. I've got Cardio Textures, which I'm using some flowers and some grass. I've got the Woodland Retreat, which I'm using the fox and some hedgehogs. And also this area here. I'm using a few of the different tiny toadstools. And I'm using from the Backyard Blooms, I'm using a couple of the flowers. Down at the Den, I'm using the Badger. The Way the Wind Blows, I'm using the large tree, the small tree, the vines and the fence. I'm using the Lavinia Moon. The Flora set, I'm going to be using the one on the right. And I'm using the Tree of Courage. And I'm using one of the flower pods for a light. So I just thought actually I'm also using an owl. I don't know if I've got that one here. Oh yes, sorry, the owl is in the down at the Den, so the owl is in there as well. Right, so let's get started. I'm going to begin first of all by using the dark denim to ink my moon. And I'm going to just sort of do that about there. There we go. Right, now my moon's in place, I'm going to start blending the background. Now my dark denim is quite well used, so I'm not taking much off of this at all. If it was new, I'd suggest you dab some off before doing it because it'd be too dark. But like I say, mine's very well used, so. I'm going to use some of the Midnight Blue, which is really dark. So I shall be taking quite a bit of that off. Midnight blue. Now I'm going to use a little bit of graphite. Some of the stamping. Right, I'm going to use my Misty first for this part of the stamping because it's quite a big tree. So it's the way the wind blows, cardio tree. And that will go about here. Okay, I'm just going to give that another ink just to make it a little bit bolder. There we go, that's fine. There to be cleaned. Right, now I'm going to come out of my Misty. And then I'm going to look for the little tree stamp. I'm going to stamp this in second generation. I want it to be about there. Right, that's that one done. And now the fence. I'm just going to do that very lightly. Be just about there. There we go. Oops, I've noticed I've accidentally spilled a little bit of ink, so here I've got an ink eraser. See if we can lift that off. Right, so now we need a bit more blue going round. That's fine. Right, next I'm going to stamp the large tree trunk thing. nocturne. And I want to put this one sort of slightly coming over about there. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp Mr. Wolf. Checking he's got good coverage, he's got a bit missing off his tail. And he can sit down here, around about there. And next I'm going to do some of the vine. I'm going to stamp this first in green. It's Green Oasis, and then I'm just going to put some nocturne over the top. I'm going to do the same again. First of all green, and then some nocturne. I'm going to do one on the other side of the tree, and another one here. I've got some first and second generation there for a bit of distance. And next I'm going to do the badger. These are such fun stamps. I really am enjoying these at the moment. I'm going to have him like he's going down the hill a little bit. I'm going to add the hill after. There he is, sniffing the flowers. And now for some toadstools. Set low down there, and one more over here. I'm going to do a little lantern next. Now this has got some extra ink on, let me just get that off. Oops. There we go. And now we're going to have a couple of the little hedgehogs down near the bottom. This one. Oops. These two. I'm just going to put some little flowers down by the hedgehogs, just in that centre bit there. And more there. Some up there. And using the grass, just going to do some random grass. few more different flowers. There and a few there. I'm going to have a dandelion flower. And we'll have a tall, different one, tall one from Backyard Blooms. Oopsie, that was my acrylic block for Moon Floor. Now I'm going to do some, like a little bunch of toadstools. Let's do them up there. I'll do some of those over here. And now I'm going to do the flora from the Lavinia flora set. Just going to tear off a bit of paper here. There we go. I'm going to do a couple of those behind the badger, so I just need to cover his head. You can go up there. Right, now I'm just going to look for the owl. He's just watching over everything. Right. I'm certainly going to have inky fingers after this. It's a messy one. Right. So now I'm just going to use the Lavinia tree. And I only want the top part of this tree to just come up the top of here. Right, now I'm going to have some fun with the pastels. So first of all, I'm going to do white around my moon. And then a very light blue. something in the distance there. And then I have a tiny bit of teal. And then I'm going to use a bit of the Elements ink truffle. I'm going to be using a little makeup brush. So take most of it off first though, because I don't want lots of it. I'm just going to go across here. And I'm going to use a bit of the brown just to go over where I've already inked. And this one's more of a reddy brown. I think I'll use a bit of this one. And then some grey. Now I'm going to try a bit of dark blue. Just a question of playing around with it until you get something you're quite happy with. Just add a bit of colour in the background there. Right, it's green. Just going underneath the tree trunk there. With my white, and do some on the tree and blend. White, I'm just going to the edges of the mushrooms. the pastel pencils for now. And then have some fun with the Poscas. Just by taking some of the pastel chalks off my fingers. Right, so I'm going to start with, actually this one I didn't do, but I want to redo. It's bugging me now because I want this to be there. That's it. Right, so the Posca's a good shake. I'm going to go over all the Lavinia floral ones in this red, like a plum colour. smudged. You can probably see I've smudged a little bit there. I'm just waiting for that to dry. And once it's dry, I'm just going to use my black pen to just go around in between it. And the same here. So it doesn't stand out as a splodge. And here we are. I'm going to go into my journal.